and welcome to everyone to this B2Wise session on demand-driven MRB with Laurent Vergot, the co-founder of B2Wise. This session is dedicated for supply chain and management professionals and logistics professionals in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well as the GCC. I know some are joining us from there. My name is Ahmed Qureshi, and I'm delighted to be hosting today's session with Laurent, and maybe start with an incident that always reminding us of how volatile this world is. I think most of you in Saudi and in the region have witnessed the late 2023, early 2024 shipping disruption in the Red Sea. That time, if you remember, there was few attacks on commercial ships, which forced shipping lines to reroute all their ships through different routes. And that's, of course, resulted in many weeks, several weeks of delay. And it meant that for manufacturers and logistics and supply chain professionals that time, there was a delay in raw material, equipment, there was idle production capacities, there was skyrocketing freight cost as well, and most importantly, there was severe delay in delivering customer orders. That episode for me and for most of us who were in the kingdom or worked in the field that time was a powerful reminder that in this volatile world, it's no longer possible to avoid disruption of supply chain. It is going to happen anyway. But the challenge is how to design supply chains that can absorb and adapt to these disruptions, trying to reduce the impact that they cause on our daily work and our service level to our customers. And this is where exactly DDMRB comes into the picture, helping companies to shift from rigid forecast-driven planning to a flow demand-driven planning that will help them to both improve their service level and as well as reduce their working capital or control their working capitals. And this discussion is very relevant to Saudi Arabia, now living into the transformation of the Vision 2030, where a lot of advanced manufacturing facilities are now being established, putting in place, and coming into operations. I think it is time as well to improve and upgrade our production planning, logistics management, and supply chain, and advance these as well to be at the level of the advanced manufacturing that is being installed in the kingdom, as well as to achieve the transformation that is aspired or sought after by the Vision 2030. Which gives me really a great pleasure to host this conversation today about demand-driven with Laurent Vergot. Laurent is the co-founder of B2Wise. He is an expert, a global expert in demand-driven implementation and transformation. Laurent led more than 100 projects globally of demand-driven implementation, as well as he created the DD Brick simulation game, which helps to teach the principles of demand-driven MRP, and also played a key role in building B2Wise's award-winning software and training programs. So without further ado, over to you, Laurent, to talk to us a little bit about the big picture. Why do legacy approaches of planning are failing in today's volatile world? What is the difference that demand-driven is bringing to the planning systems and to the efficiency of planning? And a little bit about B2Wise approach, the timeline, some of the success story, and probably in the end, if you can, a little bit about how B2Wise is now integrating AI-enabled tools in order to improve the B2Wise approach and the demand-driven model in general. So over to you. Just before we start, please write your questions in the chat box, and we will get to them at the end of the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamad, for this extensive introduction. And there's a lot of expectations. Let's see what we can do in this timeline. So first, all the systems that are used for managing companies, and especially these new plants that went out of the ground from the 2030 vision in Saudi, are using the MRP. What is the MRP? MRP is Material Requirements Planning. It's the way companies are managing the replenishment of all the material since years. And this is the start of the problem, because this MRP has been invented by an American called Joe Orlicki in the 50s, and then it has been quoted in the 60s with the first computers, and commercialized in the 70s, and in the 80s we said, we want more, we want the MRP2 with time scheduling, and then in the 80s we said we want everything included into the software with HR, sales, and so on. But still, the heart of all MRP, the heart of all ERP systems, enterprise resource planning, is with the MRP side. And how does the MRP work? It works with it's a push flow planning system that is replenishing all the inventory according to the forecast. So you take your forecast, you put it into your master production scheduling that triggers the quantities and the number, the quantities and the time for the finished goods. And then this perfect calculator of MRP will explode all your bill of materials into quantities and time for each one of your products, of your items. So forecasts, all connected, go through your bill of material, and at the end, you've got a precisely wrong system. And this is the trap. Why wrong? It's because forecasts are wrong, are used to be wrong, because right now we are living in a VUCA world. And Hamad, thank you for your introduction, and all the events that are going around the Gulf is just incredible and disrupt all supply chain. And for those of you that never heard about this acronym VUCA, it means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Well, in short, the past will never be like the future. So we need to do something different. And this VUCA world has an impact directly into our supply chain, the supply chain of our suppliers, the supply chain of our customers. Overall, it impacts the level of inventory. Now I've got a question for you guys. Inventory, is it an asset or is it a waste? For those of you who say that it's an asset, you're right. For those of you that says it's a waste, you're right too. And this is the best answer of all consultants. It depends. It depends of what? It depends on the level of where you are in your level of inventory. Because let's see that whenever you are here in this point, too little, you've got too little of inventory or too much, and in the middle, you've got this optimal range. What's happened when we are here in the too little environment? We cannot deliver our customer with the finished goods. But what's the other effect is that as we cannot deliver, we don't have the money that is coming. So we've got some lost sales or some penalties. Or so when the customer starts to be not happy, then he calls the head of sales, then the head of sales calls the head of planning, the head of planning calls the planner, and then the level of noise is just increasing and the phone is just like this, and you've got, hey, everybody's shouting. And eventually you change your planning, and that triggers a lot of stress, of disruptions in the optimized sequences of production. And this is what's happening on the too little of the finished goods. And then you have to expedite whenever the product is ready, and it costs money. And what's happened when you've got too little of your raw material, your components? Then do you stop producing and ask um, your workers to go back home and to do something different? No, no, no. You take the orders that were planned for 1 month, 1 week in advance, and you trigger it today. You produce it today. So what's happened? By doing that, you just go on the other side, because you will consume, and you will consume some material that were not supposed to be consumed, and then you will produce things that were not supposed to be there today, and then you've got too much inventory. What's happened when you've got too much inventory? Warehouse just full. Maybe you've got some pallets in the middle of the workshop that it's dangerous, and sometimes you lose some of these pallets of materials. And when you've got too much inventory, maybe you've got this obsolete, you've got shelf life that you get rid of the material because you need to recycle it. It's obsolete, it's out of date, so it's not good. So all that has an impact on the level of your return on investment. This is this dash line. When you've got the optimal range, this is where you've got the optimal return on investment of your company. But whenever I go and visit any company, and Ahmad, you probably experience the same thing, huh? We've got this bimodal distribution curve. We've got on the vertical axis the number of SKUs, of the number of parts, and we've got a lot of items with too little, a lot of items with too much, and overall too little inventory. But the reality is more something like that, a small bump here and a big bump out there. Why? It's because whenever you are in too little, everybody's shouting at the planner. But the planner deep motivation is to deliver their customer, and more deeply, not to be shouted at, to do their work calmly, smoothly, and have great results. And where they are in this situation of too much, only finance is shouting at them. So choose your field, choose where you want to be. Everybody's shouting at you when you're too little, or only finance whenever they've got this uh, finance landing at the end of the month, quarter, end of year. No. So the planners just move too much inventory. And it's not only the fault of the planners, because then we've got this oscillation between too much and too little. Um, uh, because at the beginning of the year, target is for the customers, whereas at the end of the year, target is for the level of inventory. So it's just not working well, and this has a lot of side effects. And this little boy is not happy at all. All his eggs are broken, and 95% of company reports it. And we've got chronic shortages, excessive inventory, and high expedite, expenses and wastes. Just write on the comments if you face this kind of difficulties in your own business. Uh, so this is all about the MRP, but we've learned another methodology, which is the push flow, because the push flow based on the forecast just don't do the job. And now Lean came years ago and say, hey, no, 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 we don't want to be connected. We don't want to be linked. We just want to decouple, to change. And we created this Kanban system that unleashed the chain where we execute according to the real demand. That's good. And the point is, whenever you want to implement lean, you need to have a stable planning. You need to have a stable, steady environment, sales. Because if it goes too high variabilities, then your Kanban are breaking, or if it slows down, then you've got too much inventory. So yeah, we've got Einstein that told us insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. But the insanity comes here. You do the same thing and you expect different results. So let's change the way we work. Let's change the rules and let's implement something different, something new, something that is called DDMRP, Demand-Driven Material Requirements Planning. And this DDMRP has been shown to the world with this book, the third edition of Joe Orlicki MRP book. It was in 2011. So 14 years after, we are still in this phase of educating, of showing the results. And DDMRP is the next steps of all the best practices of industrial implementations. I mean, it's the next step of the MRP, of the DRP for the distribution. It's the next step of Lean, theory of constraint, Six Sigma, and you did it four innovations, only four innovations to create these amazing methodologies. And you see there's a lot of books that talk about this methodology, and it's no longer new. It's no longer to be demonstrated, but still we need to educate. So that's what I'm going to tell you right now. We'll review these 5 steps of DDMRP. What are these 5 steps? Well, 5 steps with 3 big major phases. You position your flow, your buffers, then you protect, and then you've got a pull flow system. So let's go into these 5 steps of DDMRP, and then we'll show you some business cases results that has been achieved with this new methodology. So step number 1 is decoupling, strategic decoupling. It answers the question where. Where do we implement the buffers? Where do we implement this decoupling point that breaks this big variability throughout all the chain? So the buffers, the decoupling points can be implemented into the distribution network. It can be implemented into the operations with the finished goods or semi-finished goods, and it can be implemented into purchasing with the raw materials, with the components that needs to be transformed. How do you choose where to position the buffers? Well, we've got 6 criteria of positioning. And these 6 criteria, I will not go into the details of these 6 criteria. I just don't have enough time today. But you can find it online. You go on B2Y's websites, you will see a lot of informations, a lot of videos that will talk about this positioning inventory. But the first component for choosing where to position the buffers is the coupling points, is the customer tolerance time. What is the customer tolerance time? Well, it's the time that the customer is willing to wait before going to the competition. So You will position, if you are in retail, you will position your decoupling point in your distribution centers, maybe in the finished goods stock, and what the effects of positioning these buffers. As you will have always inventory available in these decoupling points, these shock absorbers will just drop down the variability, the bullwhip effect. Well, DDMRP used to know like the bullwhip effect killer. I mean, you know, this bullwhip is just small change in the customer demand that will trigger a lot of variabilities, a lot of change in the supply. The DDMRP just kill it, and you've got less variability in your processes, and you've got shorter lead times, that enable you to have a more agile, reactive, very simple supply chain. Now we've got the position of all the buffers. The question is how much? Yeah, how big is the buffer? So a buffer is made up of green zone, yellow zone, and red zone. Each zones are designed with simple math, with only four elements. And I will not share with you the details of all the formula, but just to let you know that the first step to size the buffer is the ADU, average daily usage. So you can size your buffer according to your past consumption, um, and you would take the average of last week, last month, last year of consumption. And for new items or for items that have a lot of seasonality and so on, you can take the forecast. So you will take the average of next week, next month, next year of forecast. And for some items that have a lot of um, uh, animation, promotions, and so on, we can take 1 week in the past, 2 weeks in the future, 4 weeks in the past, 3 months in the future. So this ADU, average daily usage, is one of the hardest points, more challenging point of a project to find out which formula you need to use it. And we do a lot of simulations in order to find out the great recipe for the ADO. Now, what are the other three elements for sizing a buffer? So we talk about variability, and the higher the variability, the bigger your safety zone is. And the safety zone is this red zone. Then you've got the decouple lead time, and the decouple lead time will be used in the yellow zone. The yellow zone is the consumption during the lead time, consumption during the replenishment lead time. And then you've got the minimum order quantity, the batch size that will trigger the size of the green zone. And this green zone will be the quantity and the frequency of the orders. Now we know how to size the buffer. And once we've sized the buffer, what's happened is that uh, when I size it today, tomorrow I've got a big problem because everything is changing all the time. This means that the size of my buffer tomorrow will be just obsolete. What do? I would do, I will implement these dynamic adjustments. These dynamic adjustments are made up to update the buffers according to, first, the calculations, second, the events that I know that will come into the future. First, the calculation. You see this dashed line, it's the average daily usage. Whenever the average daily usage is pumping up, the buffer is pumping up. If it goes down, up, down, then the buffer will always be up to date according to the real consumption into the market. That's what we do. We recalculate every single day the size of the buffer. Now, I know that in the coming weeks, we will have uh, a big seasonality, or we will have disruption like the Chinese New Year, or we will have some holiday season, or we will have some bank holiday or maintenance days. So all these kind of events, including the seasonality, will help. We know when it will come roughly. So what we'll do, we'll pump up or down the size of the buffers accordingly so that it will be adapted to the real sales that are coming. Now we just finished the dynamic adjustments. We have all the buffers and they are adapted to their market. What are the next steps? So on this step, we are going to do the demand-driven planning. And this demand-driven planning, we use one of the four innovations of DDMRP, which is the net flow. The net flow is the stock on hand, the stock on hand, plus on order, minus qualified demand. This gives you a flow level that will, if it's in the yellow, you will have to trigger an order. How much? To go to the top of green. Whenever your flow is in red, oh, you trigger an order. And how much? To the top of green. But wait. It's red. It means that it's a signal for the planner to run this, to trigger these orders first. Like this, you will have a list of priorities, really clear, really simple for all the orders for the planner. And whenever your buffer, your flow is in green, what do? Well, you will do something else. It means that your flow is correct, is well sized, everything is good. So let's recap. The net flow equation will help you triggering your orders. You will use the stock on hand, the one that is you can touch, that is ready, available for usage, plus on order, it's all what is coming from the supplier side, minus qualified demand, and qualified demand is three things. It's the orders, customer orders, sales orders that are for today, the orders in the past, the one that I forgot, and in the future, I will use the spikes. What is a spike? It is all these big orders, these mammoth orders, the one that are very big that damage your supply chain, and we will pick them up and included them into the qualified demand. So here it is. At this point of the methodology, we've got orders on the table. Let's say we are in production. I've got a list of 10 orders. Which one is my priority? With the standard MRP, I'm used to use the date. But no. This time, it's not the date. When we've got this visible collaborative execution, we will have a buffer that is, when it's full, it's 100%. When it's empty, it's 0. And in between, you've got some percentages of fulfillment of your buffer. So in one workstation, for example, we will uh, um, segment the orders according to the colors of the buffer they are going in. And when it's red, well, you need to do it first. It's like your gas engine, in your car, the level of the gas oil, you just are in red, so you need to do it first. And then you've got the yellow that you can wait a little bit, and the green that are absolutely not urgent. And for sure, you've got other information to know what are the priorities, and you will use this stock out alerts. So it means that in one day I will be in stock out, 3 days, etc. This means as well that the higher priority is no longer the date of the order, it's the size of the fulfillment of the buffer. Whew, good. Hey, we've seen this 5 steps of DDMRP. In short, and for sure there are a lot more to say, with a lot of exceptions, a lot of details of all the formulas. But now you've got a kind of idea of what are these 5 steps of DDMRP. And as a sum up, you know, to manage the flow, and this is the most important thing, DDMRP is the best methodology to manage the flow. And it's a merge, it's a synthesis of all the MRP methodologies plus Six Sigma, theory of constraint, lean, and it makes a methodology that is quite unique where you plan and execute according to the demand. I mean, you've got this decoupling point, like lean, and then in between two decoupling points, you've got the MRP that is running. So it makes the calculations much more reliable. So yes, here is a very quick high-level presentation of what is DDMRP about. And based on that, the thousands of companies that have implemented DDMRP around the globe achieved just amazing results. And you've got this consulting company called Camelot. It's a German consulting company that did um, this survey on how great are the results achieved by companies that implemented DDMRP. And you see that this survey covered life science, chemicals, packaged consumer goods, packaged goods, industrial manufacturing, and on overall, they increase the service level by plus 13 to plus 55.4%. And this you've got the lead time reduction as well. So I mean, your supply chain is much more reactive by 22% to even 95 for the best ones. And when you accelerate the flow, when you accelerate the inventory, the material and the information flow, for sure you've got inventory reduction. But this is the side effect of accelerating everything. And on median, you've got 31% of inventory decrease to 60% on the best achievers. And whenever, you know, before creating B2Ys, I was plant manager and I was the first one to implement DDMRP in France. And I achieved minus 42% of level of inventory, and the level of my service level came from around 50 to 95 plus. So yeah, my team and I did it quite well on this stage when I was working for Bernard Controls, actuator valve manufacturer. So where are the implementations? Where are B2Ys situation around the world? So, well, B2Ys, we've got 7 offices in France, in UK, in Spain, USA, Mexico, Australia, and South Africa. And this is our South Africa office that deal with all the Gulf area um, uh, customers. And we are working with more than 16 partners and around 200 customers everywhere in the world. And this is, yeah, this is quite impressive. Whenever you see this kind of logos, and we are working with industrial manufacturing, building products, luxury goods, metal industry, engineer to order. Yes, it works in engineer to order, uh, in food and beverage and maintenance and repair. So yeah, distribution, yeah, e-commerce, and I forgot the aftermarket. So a lot of business cases around the globe, and for the Gulf, we are working right now with 4 customers: Jadzera Steel, Rotork. You know, Ahmad, this actuator manufacturer. Yeah.
They are very famous as a supplier for most of the actuators in the Gulf. There is a huge valve industries and a valve demand in Saudi because of the extensive oil and gas supply chain.
Yeah. So Rotork is in a global rollout of DDA MRP, and we just our team just started the project in Dubai. So, and then we are working with this cosmetic brands, Huda Beauty, Kylie, in Dubai as well. So yeah, let's have a look to the comments of Jazeera Steel industry. So I've got a small video because these guys did really good, really well, and they won an award. So let's have a look to this award. One second.
The next award is for successful implementation of DDMRB. This is a key initiative for optimizing inventory and raw material ordering process. The award is given to Mr. Ravendra, Mr. Satish, Mr. Muhammad Arafat, Mr. Nazmul, and Mr. Rohit Kumar. The next award.
Good. Um, okay, let's go back. Let's go back
So
to our.
probably, Laurent, if you can cover what would be the timeline, what are the recommended steps, and maybe a little bit about the B2Y software that sits behind the implementation of this method.
Yeah, good point, and thank you for all these questions, Hamad. And well, whenever you want to see business cases, testimonials, just go on our YouTube channel. You will see a lot of implementations, business cases that with amazing results. But yes, how does it work? This methodology needs a software to be implemented for sure, and you can use it inside the shop floor to manage your bottleneck, and and to manage the scheduling, to manage all the flow of your material. So when you get into B2Ys, we our target is to make everything simple, complex processes, but in a simple way to see. And you see the charts are very colorful, very easy to handle, and this gives clear signals for the planners, what to order, how much to order, and you see screens are very simple, and it gives clear signal to the planners to know what to order, and on the execution side in the shop floor, what to prioritize based on the size of the buffers. So yeah, it's not only uh, helping the planning side, but it helps as well the capacity, because you can plan the best. When you don't have the capacity available, it does not work. So when we've got this management of the capacity, we've got three horizons. We first uh, check out what was the level of performances in the past, um, and we go after to the first horizon, which is the operational horizon, where we can order the quantities and check out with the time available in production. Then on the tactical horizon, we will allocate the work center, and we talk about these weeks, maybe months horizon of scheduling with these charts about the capacity buffers. And when it goes to the strategic horizon, you need something special to tackle your uh, the problems that are the pain points that are in the company, that are always different from each companies. So for that, we use our AI studio called ComWise, for community wise community, and that we use our AI studio to develop some scenario planning according to your processes, your steps in the processes, and then we can do simulation. We can simulate the different scenarios, balancing the lines, uh, make sure that every line is well organized according to the bottleneck load. So, and then AI will help you choosing the best scenario according to the capacities that you will trigger with the shifts, with the number of open suppliers, all these points. So that's all about the capacity. Yeah, let's go maybe a bit deeper into the ComWise, how we implement our AI studio. Well, just to understand that when I created B2Wise with Trevor and Kevin 9 years ago, we started with the DDMRP planning. So we were focused on the planning system. And then the second step is, yes, I've got the nice planning, but I need to schedule according to the flow that is going through my bottleneck. So we included this scheduling tool, and all this data is going into a data mart that is aggregating all the data, and you can connect your Power BI, all your BI tools to make your best KPIs. And the next step is forecasting. Including to the tool, you've got all this forecasting that is a special forecast. We call it the stability-driven forecasting, with a flow system that reduces the noise and increase stability. And at this stage, we want to have some scenario. We want to have some tools to give SNOP a lot of understanding to the managers to take the right decisions on this tactical range. So for that, with ComWise, we just create a very agile and very simple small tools that answer perfectly to the pain point of the company. And we do it very easily, very quickly. And let's have a look to one testimonial from Fruityline that we implemented in weeks, SNOP situation. So let me share this video. ComWise, yeah, real soft. Okay, let's have a look. Oops, it does not.
Laurent, just
Good.
a time check. We have 10 minutes, 11 minutes left. So
Okay.
probably a little bit about the events of the DD BRICS workshops coming to Saudi,
Yeah,
and maybe open the floor for some questions. I can't see the chat
absolutely.
box, but I think you can see it from your end as well.
Yes, I've seen we've got a few questions and remarks that are very good. So let's have a look to this last point. Uh, so how fast does a DDMRP implementation work? It goes very fast. I mean, we do it in 5 steps. Get ready, get going, get it right, get the benefits, and adapt. How long do you need to get the benefits? It's 1 to 2 lead times. So you take your longest lead time, and it's 1 to 2 lead times to get the benefits so that the level of inventory will be right balanced. So yeah, it goes fast, and we talk about from 3 months to 6 months of implementation, and it goes very fast for the results. So how do you experience it? Hey, this is the funny side. We just play the game with the Lego bricks. So we play with Lego bricks, and in a 1 day funny workshop, and Ahmad, you did it you already experimented. Maybe you can give your testimonial on how efficient is this workshop.
I think the best thing about the workshop for me, Laurent, is learning by doing. It actually because you do things with your hands in a fun and relaxed environment. I think it brings the principles life really quick, and it allows you also to see the impact and the result yourself while you're playing the game, and you try then to link it to what's happening on the real life in your job as a planner or a logistics or a supply chain manager. So it's really a great experience. Within few hours, you grasp their principles, and you should be able to go back and try to visualize it and talk to people about the benefits of it inside the company.
Yes, and we've got a good news. We really got a good news that Hamad and me will be together in Riyadh and Daman in January 13 and 15th, running this Lego bricks game. So as you participate to this webinar, you will receive a code for a special offer for these 2 webinars tomorrow, and with the replay of this webinar. Yes, I think that we are there to the end of
Thank you,
the
Laurent. This
presentation.
was really great, and I think I'll leave it to you to select from the questions and maybe answer some of them.
Yes, and we've got some questions and testimonial. So that's really good. So we've got Mohamed Al Seba, that is supply chain manager controller, and he use B2Wise in my I use B2Wise in my daily work. It offers great functionality for accuracy and control. Hey, thank you, Mohammed. So I wish I should give you the microphone just to give the testimonial. So that's a good one. Um, then we've got another question from Michael. Uh, which zone actually triggers a new supply order? The red zone or the yellow zone? Oh, that's a really good question. Both the red zone and the yellow zone trigger a new order, and they go to the top of green. But what is important is that when the net flow is in red, then it means it's an alert so that the planners start their day by working with these orders. So now they know which orders are the more important, so that at the end of the day, if they don't have enough time to deal with all these 200, 500 orders that they have in their screen, they would at least manage the most important one, the red one. Ahmad, any remark on this one?
So
Uh,
I think I have a question from my side, if you allow me,
yeah,
Laurent.
yeah, for sure.
Is you know most of the organization have ERP already in place, but they would like to experience DDMRP. So how does DDMRP P2Wise fit and integrate with the current ERP system for an organization?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is that the this? Let me go back to this one. So B2Wise will be uh, connected with the MRP system. So the ERP system. The ERP system is still the legacy system of the company with all the finance stuffs and so on. But let's say that uh, the company will subcontract the decision of how much, when, and what are the priorities to B2Wise. And we've got a connection um, from the ERP to B2Wise, and it goes both ways. And we've got connectors for SAP, D365, and we are working with all the other ERP vendors so that all the master data will go into B2Wise to take the right decisions. Did I answer your question, Ahmed?
Yeah, no, that's very
Yeah,
good. The question is, so basically, B2Wise DDMRP software will be responsible for planning and execution.
exactly.
Okay,
Planning and execution.
okay.
Um, yeah. So we've got a question from Peter. How do the users, planners, and purchaser like these prioritized and color coded lists? So what we've seen is that as everything is clear, very clear with these colors, they love it. And we've got a lot of, and go on YouTube channel and you will see planners that say, I love it, I love it, I love it. You see this, oh, come on, it's a lot of emotions. It's a planning system, it's a work, but no, they just love it because it's like a game. They gamify their work and they know that they do the right things at the right time. So it makes the things obvious for the planners as well as for the managers so that they know that their planners, their team is doing the right things. Uh, good. We've got another question. Will there be any upcoming session in Riyadh? Yes, that's exactly what we are going to be. So, Michael, let's meet us in the 13th of January, 2026, and in the coming year. Um, yeah, another question from Mohammed. So, is there um, is there attendance certificate? Yes, yes. You will for this Databricks workshop. You've got an attendance certificate, and whenever you want to go deeply and learn all the legacy, all the exceptions, all the details of the formula, we have this demand-driven planner program that is created by Demand-Driven Institute. And this program, in 2 days, you will be, can go and be a certified demand-driven planner professional, so that you know all the details of the methodology. So yes, um, just before I think that we were getting to the end of this webinar, and we've got another webinar this week, and you can scan this to register. This will be from dashboard to P&L, convert planning digitalization into cash and service. So this will be the webinar this week on the November the 6th. And yes, I think that we covered all the questions.
So with that,
Uh,
Laurent, I would like to thank
oh,
you very much for
we've got a last question. We've got one
let's have
minute.
the last question. We still have 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
So how the software reacts toward the disruption in supply chain globally? Well, the as the behind the software and inside the software, deeply embedded, you've got this DDMRP methodology. The software works really well. Uh, because you've got these buffer protections, and then you can reach this high level service level, and you can reach this lower level of inventory both at the same time. So yeah, and when you've got this big disruption, for sure, it can break your supply chain, and you will recover faster. That's what we've seen in a lot of business cases. So I would recommend you to go and have a look to these business cases. Okay, very good.
With that, again, thank you very much, Laurent, for this insightful conversation about DDMRP. And thank you all for your attendance and your time today. I hope this helped to introduce the method to you. Certainly, we will meet again in the workshops in Riyadh. And of course, you can reach out to Laurent and to B2Wise through the website. And when we share the replay of this session, we will also include some contact information for all those who would like to take it to the next step, learn more about DDMRB and how beneficial it could be to their organization, to their specific case, because we will be more than happy with B2Wise as well to come and talk to you and discuss in details how the method will be valuable for your organization. Once again, thank you very much and appreciate your time and attendance, and looking forward to hearing more from you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.